Hello, this is Evan here from the Trade Risk on Wednesday, February 3rd, 2021. We are intraday right now, and this is our weekly swing trade ideas video where we bring you stocks based on a variety of discretionary, technical, and quantitative patterns, all of which we're going to discuss and break down in just a moment. As always, these videos are sponsored by our partners over at Investors Business Daily. We curate ideas from their stock lists. You can get access to their stock lists with a link in the description of this video. So we're going to kick things off here with our discretionary bucket here. So I've only got one name we're going to look at, and it is Chewy. And so the way I sort of arrive at this name is just me eyeballing sort of the TR150 watch list, which is our own universe of what we consider the best swing trading candidates, the best stock candidates to own for market leadership, and IBD's lists. And so I scan through that, look at some basically momentum technical characteristics, and Chewy caught my eye today as I was going through the list. I like the fact, first off, that it's been in a strong trend. So it IPO'd in 2019. We've got this nice trend that developed throughout 2020. It's not too extended or, super stretched or had some, total nosebleed move. It obviously had a very strong move, but not compared to some of these other stocks that really ran last year. And so when I look at the technicals here, we originally peaked in December right around 107 bucks. We pulled back, we broke out again, and now we've got this very orderly sort of pullback that is taking place right now. So I like how orderly, I like how clean it is, I like how it's mostly sideways. We're still, only 10% from its highs. So I like the potential here in Chewy for this kind of pullback entry. If we start to break out over 106, 107, then it looks like it wants to potentially move back up towards these highs and continue in this long-term trend. So Chewy there, that is the first trade idea for today's video. Now we're going to jump into some technical scans. So these are scans that come from our TC2000 store. If you're a TC2000 user, you can check out more about these scans on our website. The first is DHI. So this one here is coming from our tight highs scan right now, and it's kind of a dual level of interest. So basically here it's in the residential construction space. This is the weekly chart of this particular stock. You can see it's essentially trading just underneath its all-time highs. It's been going sideways here for the past 7 or so months, and what we have is basically a name that is at the top end of its range. We also have this cluster here of very tight highs. That's what this scan is identifying. It's actually not really looking at this big, broad base. It's really looking at this tight cluster of highs here. So it's certainly not ready yet. It can easily fail here. So there's no trigger at this moment. But if DHI can start breaking over $78, if it can start clearing out these highs and coincidentally start clearing over this longer term range, then this one looks pretty interesting here for a breakout setup, a momentum setup, and it's going to hit on kind of multiple time frames on that momentum. So DHI, that's the first there, coming from our tight highs TC2000 scan. Number two is FSLY. So FSLY is appearing on our ultimate consolidation scan. So we've got a couple of things working here for FSLY. First off, we zoom out, we can see it's been in a nice trend in 2020. Had a very strong run to new all-time highs, and it's basically gone nowhere since June, July. It's been carving out this much broader range here in between, call it $70 and $110. So it's been pretty wide, and it's had multiple kind of peaks and valleys in here throughout this consolidation. What I like about FSLY, though, is if, we kind of look at connecting the dots here on where this stock has repeatedly failed over the past handful of months, we get this band in here. So we had a peak in here in July. We had essentially failure right in here, this peak in August. We had the recent peak in December and December, early December, mid-December. And so there's been lots of kind of peaks and failures right around this 105 level. And if we look at where the stock is consolidating now, it's holding over that zone and it's getting pretty tight. We also get a fairly interesting and attractive volume pattern down here where we're seeing increased volume coming in the up move on this latest leg higher. So it shows that there's been some urgency, there's been some accumulation here on this move up. So I like that with FSLY. Now, of course, it's not out of the woods yet because we do have, you know, kind of the peak up here in July, and we also have the all-time highs that got put in around 133. So there's still some overhead supply. It's not out of the woods yet, but basically, in my eyes here, the longer it can consolidate and hold over 100, let's just say, you know, over $100, $103, the longer it can base out here, the more constructive this looks for a potential breakout and run to potentially back to new all-time highs, and then, you know, trend continuation in this bigger move. So FSLY, ultimate consolidation scan, like the setup there. Number two, or actually number three from our technical list, is NVIDIA. So NVIDIA also hitting our ultimate consolidation scan. So this one, we've talked about this a few weeks ago, I believe, in this consolidation. But, you know, when we look at it on a weekly time frame here, we essentially just can see the very, very clear and very tight consolidation that has taken place over the past 6 months in NVIDIA. It had a very strong 2020, and then it's basically just gone sideways here, gone silent, just under its all-time highs at $580. I believe this reports earnings in about a week or two, so this is likely going to be the catalyst that ultimately resolves it out of this range here. But NVIDIA like this very tight and orderly pattern here, and we'll see which one and which way actually this tips in the coming weeks. Last but not least, from our technical scan, another one from our ultimate consolidation. There are lots of stocks that are just sort of primed and moving sideways. This is a biotech, so again, you know, goes without saying, please do your homework on all of these stocks. Nothing here is a buy recommendation. It needs to make sense to you, needs to fit how you're trading. So please do your due diligence on these stocks. But specifically, it reminds me when I look at a biotech like this, and it's not you know, it's not a micro cap. It's a over $1 billion company, so it's not tiny, but it still, you know, has some inherent risks, and I don't know a whole lot about the fundamentals of this company, so keep that in mind. But BTAI, this one here is another one that's just gone totally silent. So take a look at this over the past year, basically since May of 2020. We have essentially stalled out, going completely sideways in this $50 range. So you can see it's extremely tight right here. It's very pent up. We don't have a directional trigger. There's no momentum yet, but that's obviously what we'd be looking for here. $57 top of the range, you know, down, depends on how tight you want to make this. $43 start to break down below there. It can get pretty ugly pretty quickly. So BTAI, long-term ultimate consolidation play that we're looking at. So that's it from the technical scans. I'm going to leave you with one quantitative signal. This comes from our trading system called Lamerick. This is an Amgen, so in the biotech space again. It just reported earnings yesterday, and so our quant model here picked it up this morning. So it took an entry in this stock at 232.14. That was the exact fill that we received. So we are long Amgen right now, 232.14. This is a shorter term swing trading system. So it is traditionally going to flip stocks out over, you know, 3, 4, 5 day holding periods. So we're not going to be in this for a whole lot of time, but seeing some opportunity there in that model. If you want to learn more about how that model works, you can head to the site, take it for a free trial, learn more about the system. But that's what we purchased this morning. So that is it. That is what I have for this week's Trade Ideas videos. Lots of consolidations going on there. A couple of actionable names. Again, do your homework on those names. And as always, I thank you for tuning in and watching. Every Wednesday, we publish trade ideas just like this. So do subscribe to our YouTube channel or stay up to date with all of what we're publishing at thetraderist.com, and leave a comment below. What was your favorite trade idea in today's video, or share an idea of your own. I'm trying to get the comment section little bit more active and helpful for everyone. There's often lots of good questions down there. So, check out the comment section on our YouTube channel, see what other traders are talking about. And with that, I will bid you a great day, and we'll see you in the next video update.